Mr. Colosso, you had a concern?
Just a few questions. I understand that we are looking to put a Hampton hotel there. Is that under contract right now, or is it just a negotiating play? Or
that was under contract. City of El Cajon has a what's called a DDA with two developers for that project.
And so I assume so. And so in the past, when I've built projects in cities, they would make us the owner of the property or the owner of the building that's to be put there, pick up the tab on the security. I know, like in Santee, we had to do that twice.
We are the owner still. When we close escrow, they will be the owner, and we will remove all of our services at that point. So once they become the owner, they will be responsible.
Do we have a time frame on when they become the owner or when escrow is closing? So, because if we're under contract, then to me it seems like a party could renege at this moment.
We expect escrow to close in approximately 30 days.
Okay, so in 30 days. So in 30 days, there's going to be a new owner. I would like to see the owner of the property pick up the $40,000.
Well, that's not a part of our contract with them, so they have no responsibility to do that.
Or maintain the building, because it's going to be theirs. So why would we pay to maintain the building that we don't own anymore?
Well, for the city of El Cajon, it is a security issue with homeless in there. They're going to destroy the building as soon as they take ownership of it.
No, I understand that part. So in 30 days, if there's a new owner, and I understand we have a safety concern, so I'm good with paying security as long as we own it for liability reasons and whatnot. But I'm not okay with paying extending a contract when somebody else owns it. So doesn't it say here? I'm sorry, hang on, let me find it. Or maybe you can just tell me, because I thought it was extended further than 30 days.
I'd like to note that these services are more than just for the security of the old police station. It actually is for security services for events, America on Main Street, for example. So we utilize these services for those events. If we have an event at the Reagan Center, Community Center, and someone reimburses us for it, we have them on contract. So these are services throughout the year that we're going to utilize. As Mr. Williford said, as soon as escrow closes, our obligation relating to services at the police station will end, but we'll continue to use their services through the end of this contract.
It just seems so broad then, if we're going to be using them for other places, because maybe you can help me point to it on the agenda that I see, because all I see here is the old police station references. And so if we're using it for something else, I don't see it, or maybe I'm not seeing it. So if it's for something else, I'd like to see it more specific, because I know when I've built projects before, we had to pay, as soon as escrow closed, we had to pay for security, even if the city really, really, really wanted the project there. So I'm good with having security in other places, but it just doesn't say it like that here. Or am I not reading it correctly? Tell me where it says security.
It doesn't spell it out. In our contract with them, it does spell out general security services for a lot of different factors.
I can appreciate that. So I think what I want to see is specific how much we're going to spend for the remainder time until escrow closes, to where we relinquish our liability in that building. I understand they're going to tear it down, and then I would like to see specific line items of our security for other functions that we use, as opposed to it just being broad like that.
We have that information. We can provide that information to the council after the meeting.
Okay.
I don't have it at my fingertips right now.
All right, so I guess this is going to be like a technical question for Morgan. So if I don't want to vote for that, the way it reads, I don't think I've ever vote.
You can vote no.
On that specific one, because I know we generally just go consent.
Yeah, you can just say you'd like the record to reflect a no vote on item 1.5.
Very well, thank you.
So I think the reason why you're asking for additional money is because we incurred some services at the old police station using private security. So I'm seeing here that it includes special and various citywide events such as concerts and car shows and all sorts of things, and this 40,000 is not specifically for the police department. It's for, as quoted, services for special and various citywide events. Am I reading that correctly? Interpreting that correctly?
Yes.
What page is that on? Because I don't see that.
You're just reading the staff report, Councilmember.
Staff report, item 1.5 from
I don't
Chief
see-
Davis.
I don't see car shows or concerts on here.
I asked the staff, so what does as-needed security guard services for special and various citywide events? And they told me those would be a couple of items that we employ security guards for.
Yeah, you
So
said you read that on there, so it's not on there. I think at the last city council, when we discussed the security contract, there was some wrong information given, so I want that to be clarified, that the monies weren't for street fairs and car shows. That was suggested. Also, in regards to that now, old police station, apparently then the money for security wasn't used correctly because it caught on fire twice. So maybe you can tell us why and where the security guards were.
Mr. Kalasha, we thought we'd be closing escrow sooner than we were, so we had actually canceled our contract. We are in the process of procuring a different contractor to provide security at the site. In the meantime, Public Works has reboarded up the site and has put in some security fencing at the police station to ensure that this doesn't happen again. But we are working on providing the security that it should have had we closed escrow sooner.
So what happened to the money with the increase in that we voted for if there was no security?
That money was to pay for security up until that point, and then also to pay for the security associated with America on Main Street and any other security needed at the Ronald Reagan Center for any potential events.
If you recall the email that you sent out, there were 3 subcategories of where that money was to be sent. And they were, do you remember them?
Correct. Partly was security for
And say the
police
amounts.
station.
Say the amounts too.
I don't recall the amounts.
Roughly.
I don't recall.
Okay.
But that amount for the police station was an
85,000.
was an unanticipated amount because we thought we'd be closing escrow in February, and so we had security there up until this last about a week ago because we thought we were closing escrow, but that has been delayed until probably be around June 15th, or July 15th. So we'll be bringing back, or we will be securing security for that site.
So we gave an increase of $40,000 for back pay of security that we owed a company.
That's correct. That is correct.
That's weird to do. So usually I would say contracts are we're going to say we're going to give them $40,000 for services in the future. To back pay for that is like we're in a corner. Obviously we have to back pay. So I don't think anybody up here knew that was the case last time. Actually, I'm pretty sure nobody here knew that was the case last time. So in the future, it would be good to, especially because that building caught on fire twice, and recently, after we just voted to increase security, manpower at that place, so that makes us not look good in the public eye, and so in the future, especially for that kind of contract, if we can do it and then moving forward, that'd be great, and not have to back pay anybody. My activity reports, they are as reported.